Hello everyone, welcome to the Tech Podcast series. This is Lakshit Pant, your host for today, and this Tech Podcast series is a touch for the startup ecosystem. And here we discuss about multiple startup brands and how they are building solutions for good. And today we have our expert speaker Sarjit with us. Sarjit, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thank you, Lakshit. Pleasure to be here, and my hi to everyone who is going through the podcast. Just to give you a quick background, so we are an ex-Wall Street bankers, studied, lived mostly in the financial services. In India, we are predominantly in the investment space with a product known as Shoonya. At the same time, we are building up a neobank, and parallelly, we are also globally present with as an investment bank in Mauritius under financial intermediary. So we are more of tech engineers who happen to be in a different fields. Financial services happened, healthcare happened, and now I think we are moving into the AI space. So a lot is the learning curve for us, and excited to be here.
Yeah, that's fantastic, and that's the quality of every engineer. We will just try to put our hands on every sector. And my first question will be based on the same thing only. So it's also mentioned that like you are targeting multiple sectors like financial, tech, healthcare, blockchain, real estate, and so many things. I just wanted to know how does the company you thrive to excel and manage the diversity and inclusion, and how you build yourself with every innovation.
See, as a background goes back, we've studied and lived in US before we moved back and started our setup here. So being an engineer, technology has always been our forte and something which kind of excites us every day. And it's also evolved in the last few years. The Aadhaars, the UPIs, the account aggregators. I think there's no looking back. So that kind of complements to the much awaited revolution which the capital market is looking at right now, and the other verticals as well. So talk about healthcare as well, talk about the biometric, the technology which we are working on. So I think all that put together is something which is the hour of the need, is where we started off with. And once we venture into this, we realize that, okay, what are the actual pain points? Why do we really focus on creating these more disruptive solutions? And from there, we are kind of picking up one piece at a time, trying to fix it, resolve. And again, it's more technology driven, so it gives a more hands on grip to build something which is for the masses, and it's more easy for use for all the Indian clients we are focusing right now.
So now, as you have mentioned multiple points, and we have discussed about this earlier, I wanted to know if you have to explain Finvasia in a couple of words so that people can understand. Could you please throw some lights upon it so that you we can help people understand what it is all about and what are the solutions that you are providing right now?
Sure. So Finvasia, has been quite diversified as an engineering tech company. We have built up products in India with the name of Shoonya. We are also working up, as I said, a neobank, which is a digital tech in the Indian market. At the same time, we are also building up health tech products with the name of Genie Health. It's more
Okay.
on diversified products, and globally as well. We are well expanded in the financial services. So it's a group of company which is working in different jurisdictions under different product range. And in India, we are in Mohali as Chandigarh place and in Mumbai. And globally, we are on 500 team, aggressively growing up, massively busy, and love what we do.
That's fantastic. When you love what you do, it helps you excel every time. It helps you do some, amazing innovation every day. And you have mentioned multiple, this is more like a chain of multiple organizations. So I want to keep a more traction of around AI and the Shoonya. So could you please help me understand what exactly the story behind Shoonya and what exactly the Shoonya and how it is the Shoonya, it's what inspired you to enter this AI powered business with Shoonya?
So, as a product, we've launched India's first commission-free trading application, where investors
Okay.
who are actively looking at the capital market, be it stocks, derivatives, mutual funds, everything. It's a complete end-to-end investment tech stack under name of
Okay.
Shoonya, and which is mostly for all the retail clients. The huge advantage, as I said, the product itself explains the Shoonya. So trading in any of the segments, account opening, call in trade. So there are different verticals which were quite a pain points, if you look at from the industry perspective. And we kind of made the entire, top to bottom chain as a commission free investment. And once we do that, we obviously start focusing on the actual value chain. So we build up a lot of technical charts. We are building up a lot of technical tools for the retail clients to be able to make wise decisions. And one of the recent, thing we have added in the Indian capital market, which wasn't there, since inception, but it was quite hugely used by a lot of hedge funds or the bigger institution banks, was the use
Okay.
of AI in the stock market. And that is something which we have recently started offering to the Indian retail clients, where we are analyzing over 1500 stocks on a daily basis, on a large, mid, small, on a different time horizons, 3 days, 5 days, 7, 3 months, 1 year. So it gives the investors a lot more credible information, and it comes through a huge AI which we have built up at the back end, who's doing all these analysis of different data points created all over the world, and it gives them the right tools to then make the right decisions in the market.
Okay, so before walking ahead, I want to know the story behind this, the name, that nomenclature that you have kept, the Shone. Does it have a specific story or what?
So again, I think as a product, as the founders, you always want to name any of your product just the way you would name your baby, right? I mean, you tend to be
Right.
more closer to something which you are building up. And at the same time, when we were working on this whole concept, every time it just used to relate, oh, this has a cost, that has a cost, this particular feature has a cost. If you're doing this, then there is a cost to it. And then for us, the mindset was that no, absolutely, there has to be a commission free ecosystem. And we started talking about, oh, zero this, zero that. And then we suddenly realized that what better name than Shunya itself, because that resonates the whole idea, the vision, what we wanted to bring it for the Indian retail clients, for them to have access to the tools, which obviously has no cost to it. Ideally, there should be no cost to it. All you're doing is you're sending me a data packet on my mobile. I'm taking it to my server, sending it to the exchange, and exchange is saying yes or no. I'm taking it back and giving on your mobile app, right? So it's technology
Exactly.
driven. So technically, there should be no cost around. It's like sending a WhatsApp message to me. So this is where the whole thought and journey kind of originated. And every time we were talking about zero, we realized that who has given Shunya to the world, and it turns out to be that we were the pioneers of conceptualizing the whole zero, as Aryabhatta gave Shunya to India. So we was like, to the world indeed, and there was no looking back. So we just immediately said Shunya is something which we all can relate, and investors will be happy to understand that the ecosystem needs to be more value driven and not on a certain pieces of creating this fintech product.
Yeah, so that's fantastic to heard about this. And now I have this. So this question quite be very, so because AI, when we say about AI and when we talk about financial sector, there has been a lots of challenges, right? There are these challenges does exist, like people tend to because these safeguards and everything. So I just wanted to know, could you please provide me some overviews, like are there any specific requirements or prerequisites one should, someone should learn or should start with before using platform or accessing the AI features?
One of the primary thoughts which we always keep in mind, that because the product is meant for the retail clients, it has to be
Mhm.
simple and easy, right?
Okay.
You can't, and especially for the in the market which is very sensitive in nature, right? So we end up, say, being awake 2/3 of our life, and we're almost spending 2/3 of that making money, or we are working in a context of to be able to have a wealthy or a prosperous life. So the amount of time we are spending to generate money or to earn money makes us more sensitive if we end up losing it in the context of not making the right decisions. So from there we realize that the product which we are building up has to be very simple for the end user, easy to use, and more importantly that it is not a conflict of interest, right? So your buying and selling is not generating any revenue for us. It's more of when we are creating these value chains for the clients, we are indeed empowering them to be able to make wiser decisions. When you're looking at all these signals and predictive analysis or the other technical charts or Bollinger charts, there is a huge world which has built up on the technical and fundamental analysis. We didn't want to complicate more to the retail clients. We wanted to say that, okay, you go there, you look at it, we are doing the back end AI analysis, and these are the potential stocks which kind of make sense for you to start off with. And I've always seen that the first time investors will either start off with a SIP or a mutual fund, or they will do a small kind of investments in the blue
That's
chips
true.
or the A-list stocks in India. That's
Yeah,
our
thank
first
you.
learning curve when we are moving into this market, and that's exactly what we thought of doing it. So let's make it simple, give it to the clients, and empower them to make right decisions. And AI is the best experience. It is humanly impossible to analyze over 1500 stocks on daily basis. It's just like you have so much data on Google, you keep typing those 1500 stocks and you're reading about it, and by the time you read, the market has closed. So you wanted to have a very simplified way of being able to make those decisions, and it worked pretty well. So I think the tools which we are offering to our clients, the returns, everything is come up quite a positive, and that's something which we are happy that it's adding a lot of value for the retail clients.
Yeah, that's nice. And I just wanted to know, could you provide us some insights into the research and development process behind the Sony's AI algorithms? Because not exactly the AI algorithm. When I talk about AI algorithms, because as a retail client, I just first of all, if you could address this one question, which target sector, what it will be your target audience? Is it like tier one, tier one, city target audience, tier two, or what it looks like for you?
So I think this market has potential for everyone.
Right.
Be it a first-time investors, be it a hardcore traders, be it people like you who have started realizing the need and the essence of saving, from saving to investing. These are cycles which we all tend to learn. I mean, I'll give you an example. Back in days when I was in US, and you just got the job out of your college, you will make sure that you don't have money for the last 3 4 days, right? You kind of just enjoy the initial few days of a month. And this is exactly how we have seen, but over a period of time I think we start maturing with money. We start understanding how rightly and wisely we should start working on it. And that's exactly the audience we have in India right now. The demographics you're talking about, the millennials, the Gen Z's, all of them are maturing with time, and that's where their interest is building up. Okay, I need to now start looking at from mutual funds to stocks, from stocks to derivatives, and then there is always a progress moving forward. So in our particular case, even on the product or the AI tools we have built up, I think it's for everyone, it's for the masses. It gives a right tools for everyone to have control of what ideally they can do it once they have information. So in our case, I think this tool is meant for everyone, is the reason that we have been able to offer it to the retail clients, and it's working pretty good. So to answer your question, this is for all.
how I understood this, so it's more like the AI behind the platform analyzes multiple stocks, as you mentioned, 1,500 or 50,000 plus stocks every day, and it predicts, gives us the best stock that can be, you know, that can be utilized, or that can one should look for investing, right? So is it, this looks like a law for long time investing, or how is it, or is it useful for the short time traders as well? Because when you do short time trading, there are lots of risk management, psychology, and lots of things required, stop loss, and there are multiple things that one should keep in mind that requires human touch. So how do you keep, and how do you make sure all of this is there anything that you have kept?
So I think part of what you asked earlier as well, that we have spent quite a few months in back testing lot of these scenarios. See, this was a very new concept from the Indian market as well, and also AI is not simply you just put in a data and just gives you an output. There are a lot
Right.
of data points at the back end which really have to go through it. They have to see how the relationship between one data to the second one is, what is their potential impact. So a lot of effort goes behind in back testing lot of these AI tools, which we have started offering. And because this was not for the retail clients in India, so a lot of data gathering was also important for us to be able to make right decisions, to be able to give the right tools to the client. So yes, I think that the back testing and initial validations looked quite promising, is the reason we kind of started making that move, and it come out to be. And to add to it, the company which is in tie-up with I know first, they're also one of the pioneers in building this AI in the global markets, though never had built up for the Indian retail clients. But that is something which kind of really excited us. So moving to to the second part of when you say that this is for everyone, I think the way we have created the product is that it has a multiple horizons to it, right? So if you're looking for a 3-day investment, it will give you those kind of stocks. If you're looking for a 6 months investment, it has a different parameters at the back, and it's going to do that analysis on those particular time frame. And if you're looking for a 1 year time zone, then naturally the stocks which are going to be proposed for 1 year duration are going to be different. So besides the large cap, small, and a mid cap, we have also categorized the different time zones which are very beneficial for the client, right? So sometimes you don't want to take a risk, you want to start a baby steps, just like, yeah, I don't want to do a 1 year thing, let me just see how things move for say 1 month. And then you gradually start understanding the market, you start making those decisions. I think those tools are very much accessible and has been consciously kept in mind. Interestingly, we are doing the same AI on the Indian indices. So it's just not
Okay.
on the stocks, it is done on the indices. So then you can also do a second level of correlation. The third interesting part we have done is we have extended this to the existing portfolio of every client. So for an example, if you already had an ABC stock, then you can just simply go there and see that, okay, for each stock, what is the AI suggesting? What is the AI giving me signals? Should I do it for, should I keep it? Should I add more, exit? All those tools are also important for your existing portfolio to make those minds. So we have created, as you were saying, is it for different kind of people? Absolutely. Everyone who's looking forward will have the right tools in this particular application.
And now you have mentioned somewhere about the global clients, and you are helping the global customers as well. So what, what steps does you have taken to understand and address the unique needs and challenges faced by multiple clients in different countries, or maybe the different sectors?
So, as I said, because the product was majorly driven for the institutional clients,
Okay.
obviously there are portfolio managers, there are people who are analyzing and being pro in this particular market for long years, their basic education, the PhDs of the world. So there was all of that were sitting down and creating all these reference documents or reports or this tools for the institutional clients, which obviously have a different horizon for investment. They have different markets for investments, they have different asset classes to look at when it comes to investment. So naturally when they look at these tools, their horizon, their mindset, their reason to invest is very different, right? Sometimes there are different mandates which these funds work on. There are different countries which these funds focus on. So I think a lot of effort goes in understanding that what what is the mindset to make these investments for all these different portfolio managers or product managers. But having the same expertise and extending it to a retail client, I think that itself was quite challenging for us. And as I said, the differentiation also comes when it is the ticket size. So these hedge funds will always have what do you call it, higher funds to invest. And then similarly, when we were trying to create it, the whole idea was to create a completely zero free ecosystem for it. And as I said, the conflict of interest is not there, so having a similar products for institutions and working it for retail clients was surely, as I said, a lot of back testing, a lot of going back and forth. But for the bigger hedge funds, it's a different way. For the retail clients, it turned out to be very exciting and a lot of learning for us, and we are really happy that it is kind of working out. Especially there is no conflict of interest, right? So as I said, it's not insisting anyone to buy or sell more because that's going to create any kind of revenue for us. So when we have absolutely zero commission free ecosystem, all we are saying that these tools will further empower the clients to make those decisions with the absolute zero trade, zero commissions what we are offering to a client. So this is how I think it's a natural way to evolve and start giving value services to your clients.
Now, with such a beautiful explanation, I would love to hear from you any success story that you want to share, with that has had a significant impact and on an individual or on a business. If you could share with us in a short and crisp manner, it would be really insightful to
I
hear.
I think every day we get up, we try to make some success stories for us,
Yeah, right.
especially with the kind of business or the being founders. So every day becomes a bit funny, challenging for us. But yeah, I think as as we look at some of the success stories, I think I will differentiate into two aspects. First, obviously, is the business success story. I think we are very happy with the progress, the effort we have made while going to US, studying, living there for over a decade, and moving back to India, and now we are building up something from India for the global masses. That's something which always excites us. And at the same time, every time we sit back and we think of that, how do we really give it back? And that kind of gives us our second vertical, which we have recently ventured into, is the health tech healthcare. And we are also creating a lot of technology, biomedical devices for the Indian healthcare people who kind of don't emphasize on the preventive healthcare. I think those are the areas where we always go back and say that we need to create more success stories so that people inspire and they build up on top of it. And Shoonya again is something which I always feel proud. It's very close to our heart. We have built up. We are now adding the right tools for the clients to make them right decision. And as I said, we spend almost one third of our life on the work, working. We want to make sure that people who are investing, who are saving, they should rightly know that what should be the best for them. So I think all that really kind of gives us a lot more as a satisfaction of success. Success is not just a valuation metrics. I think it's also to drive with how we are giving back to the people. One of the example I keep saying is it's not easy to drive work or business from tier 2 tier 3 cities, right? So
Exactly.
Chandigarh has been besides the learning curve, but also a lot of initial challenges when we started and we moved here and we got into around 300 plus as a team, and then we are still expanding. So I think these things kind of makes us feel better, makes us feel good of yes, we have really done something for us, for our city, for our country, and now I think it's for the industry and clients. So I always feel happy to what we are doing, and that's the success, I think, well defined for us. And I'm sure time will give us more stories to share and more success, which we will feel proud of.
Exactly, and now I'm pretty excited for this. So, what are the matrices for you of success? How do you exactly measure it as an individual?
So I know everyone has a different definition of success, man. I mean,
Exactly.
I think if you can really keep a great professional and personal life balance, that's a good success. With age, we have different priorities. As I said, when we're in college, we tend to run for the college placements. Once you're out of the college, you tend to be in the offices, and then there is, another level of healthy
Right.
competition at times. I think within this whole space, we kind of, at times miss. Though I know there has been a huge, and we also consciously make, and I am personally very health conscious person as well. So I think in my particular, space of getting the right success is for the people to be able to have a right balance for their professional life, at the same time spending it with the family, or doing something which you love. It could be playing guitar, it could be running, it could be driving, it could be going to uphills, it could be anything. You got to do that. You have to de-stress yourself. You got to do something what you love, even if it is for 30 minutes in a day. I think that's, if you can do that, that's the right success.
Yeah, that's nice. That's very kind words to hear from you. And now, following up to the former discussion that we were having. So in recent years, there has been a trend of brokerage firms offering zero charges for stock trading. And so I just wanted to ask, how do you believe this approach can contribute to improving inclusion and accessibility, especially in the stock market for any individual who may have been previously deterred by high fees or high cost structure?
See, if you really go back to the history, brokerage was always an auxiliary service, right? It was never the primary business. Someone was buying, someone was selling. So the middle guys always had that, either a knowledge advantage or access advantage, or time advantage. So, it kind of evolved over a period of time. And there's no change to the stock market as well, right? I mean, it was limited to a certain people. In order to make it accessible to the retail clients, you have to build a lot of infra, you have to have branches, so there was a different world altogether in historically, if you look at it. But in the last few years, how this whole tech has given a huge advantage. I was telling someone else is, when we launched this whole account opening process, right? So it was like, boom, 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 you're done. I still remember there was this exhibition. I was in Mumbai and we spoke to someone. I just took his PAN number and Aadhaar and he said, your account is open. So people were not ready to believe that how technology can really help them. And that's exactly what we say, that, this brokerage, I understand there is a model, but in our particular case, how we see that there should be absolutely commission free ecosystem, right? Because all you're doing is you need to have a value driven ecosystem rather than a buying selling kind of model, which is, as I said, has evolved. In our particular case, we have also been able to offer absolutely zero intraday, zero delivery, zero account opening charges, zero AMC, zero call in trade, because all these are just part of the ecosystem. And when we are doing it, I think it's working out. If we are a bit positive, it's working pretty smooth, and if we are scaling it up at a very great pace, I think there is no reason that the industry should not focus on the value added services much more than just this whole particular brokerage model. And this is exactly what we have done, and I think we've been able to prove it in the last few years that the businesses can surely survive and has more potential to grow if they are not dependent on brokerage.
Yeah, and if you could share any upcoming developments or initiatives that you are running right now, and that our listeners can look forward to from Finvasia or maybe from Shoonya.
So as a product, so Shoonya is doing great at the current pace we are. We have added the AI tool we mentioned. At the same time, we are building up a neobank, and we are aggressively looking forward for another disruption in the digital banking space. So that's something which we would love to share in the next. There has to be another reason to come back on this podcast and interact with you. So we'll hold that thought. But yes, I think our focus, as I said, is more to work on problem solving solutions, right? We need to identify the problem statements around us, be it healthcare, be it financial services, be it anything, and then see how we can, as an engineers, build a more scalable, more end user, focused, client centric solutions, which can then help them to scale or sustain or grow. So I think these things have always been on our interest and forte, and the reason we ventured in health tech was predominantly of the same mindset. So yes, you're right. There are a lot of exciting things in the pipeline, uh, and then we would love to share with you as and when we get there. Some surprise element should always remain there.
Yeah, exactly. Definitely looking forward to. And as a wrap, what's if you could define us the vision for future and the role in shaping industries to technology and engineering. As a final note, I just want to heard some closing remarks for you. How you see the future?
I think the future predominantly should be that everyone should have the right tools to be able to make right decisions in investment. Right? We are as an Indian, as a human being, more driven on the saving and investment part. So the saving needs to start translating to investment. That's the vision I think we are trying to build in Shune, in the product, that the people who are saving should be able to make right decisions to then get better returns from their savings. We have seen the fixed deposits, we have seen other investments, but diversifying the portfolio, having right information, and then more importantly, having that accessible to the retail clients is the vision which we constantly keep asking ourselves, that how can we create something for the end user which can help them make right and better decisions. That's the vision we have.
Thank you for the kind words, and thank you for joining us at this podcast. Due to some paucity of time, we have to, end the discussion here, and would love to catch up sometime on a cup of coffee and discuss more about the product, more about the development, and more about your look forward to listen to your ideas. And thank you, Weber, for being here at the back end, and thank you everyone for listening to this podcast. And we will thank you everyone.
Thank you everyone. Thanks, Lakshit.